I discovered a long time ago that you don't need anybody. You certainly don't need me in the morning on YouTube. You can actually do without anyone at all in your life. You don't need a best friend. You don't need to get married. You don't need a good neighbor. You can be an old grumpy person who just takes care of yourself and lives all to yourself and leads a life of total loneliness if that's what you want. When we lived in Long Beach, we lived in a little house on Fanwood Avenue. The next door neighbor was a guy who was probably 30 years older than us. His name was Larry. Larry had this phenomenal car collection that he kept out in the desert. He was famous for it. Larry rebuilt old weapons all the way back to Revolutionary War weapons that he was famous for doing it. The only reason we connected with him was because wood would be delivered to his house to go ahead and build these things, or when he was re-rifling the barrel of a gun, he was going through all of this stuff and he needed someone who would take it. And so Debbie was willing to take it. She had stopped work at that point with the kids. And we collected it. We would carry it over to Larry's house in the afternoon. I'd take it over, Debbie would take it over after it got in there. He was a machinist when he would go off to work. He would come home, nobody visited him, nobody was nice to him, and he certainly wasn't nice to anyone. He was a grump. But from our first year there, Debbie invited him to Christmas with us. And he didn't come, he ignored us, he shined us on. We got along better. All throughout the year, we started connecting. We had the same car. He had a 1956 Volkswagen Bug. I had a 1960 Volkswagen Bug. I asked him for help a time or two, and he, not graciously, but he did help me with it. He knew how to work on it. The next Christmas, Debbie invited him for Christmas again. And there Larry stood at the door, Christmas morning, with his bag of Chinese persimmons from his yard that he loved that tree so much. He had picked them and he brought them as a gift. He was in his big blue overalls, clean overalls, looking nice at her little house in Fanwood, ready to spend Christmas Day. He said, Debbie invited me for Christmas. We welcomed him in, and it began the beginning of a friendship. I assume Larry's dead now. I haven't seen him for decades. But I thought about how he had gone without anybody for so very long. And then we connected and we built a friendship. You don't need anybody. You can live alone. You can take on your own task. You can have your own hobbies. You can have your own career and just be all in you. Or you can open your heart. You can open your life. And you can make friends. I'll never forget when we moved away from that little house, I went up to one of our neighbors, I hugged him, and I said, you know, John, it has been the best thing that you guys welcomed us into your neighborhood. We love it here so much. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and he said, you know, we were never a neighborhood until you guys moved in. He said, when you guys moved in, you seemed to be the catalyst that brought us all together. In your life today, there's someone who's lonely while you're lonely. In your life today, there's someone who needs the inspiration that only you can bring. In your life today, there's a Larry, there's a John, there's an entire neighborhood that's waiting for you to be the catalyst if you just reach out and love. Go out today and be an inspiration. Lift up your heart, lift up your life, and just love somebody. Just love somebody. You didn't need to get married. You didn't need to have kids. Lord help us. You didn't need to have grandkids. You didn't need to have brothers and sisters. You didn't need to have any of that stuff. You don't need to waste your time on friends. But maybe you can say, this is why I'm here, is for these children, for these kids, for these grandkids, for these friends, for these neighbors. These people are my greatest wealth. And then you can give yourself to them completely. Go out today, be an inspiration. Be motivated. In fact, why not go out today and be a motivation to all the people around you? I want to motivate you. Hey, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching today. Subscribe to my channel. It's that little dot with me running in it. Just push that button. Subscribe. Be a part of what it means to be the miracle in your community. Just go ahead and subscribe. Thanks so much for being a part. We may not be #1 today on YouTube for motivational channels, but boy, we're on the bottom looking up and we're climbing. You can be a part of every bit of this inspiration. God bless you. Have a great day. Know that I'm thinking about you.